My name is Elon from IUYC. Here in LA, we got a school right here on 53rd and Western. We're here trying to preach the truth to our people, waking them up to their understanding of who they are, you know, keeping the laws of God, raising up a nation. Us coming from the gang life in the streets, we're always trying to find a purpose. That's why we create gangs. We affiliate ourselves with other gang members. We try to create something, but we don't have no understanding of which way to take it.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army.
So the Bible says that the Lord has a great army that he's trying to establish on this earth, so we could take back this kingdom. This world belongs to you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Okay, so while we're running out here trying to fight for a street, God said that we are soldiers. We are an army. What is the purpose of fighting for a street? What is your purpose of killing your own brother? That same brother from the nether neighborhood, right? He has the same mentality that you got. He's going through that same affliction. We connect ourselves with the Aztlan movement, right? We connect ourselves to the Mayans, to the Aztecs. These were great empires that existed. We choose to relate our lifestyles to them. Great power, brown pride, all this, right? But we don't really relate to who we really were, because before that, we was a conquered people. And check this out, read it.
There's the book of Isaiah, chapter 3 and verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them.
Okay.
O my people, they which lead thee, cause thee to err.
So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for leaders, right? That's why you have a ranking system, even in the gangs, in the neighborhoods, in the gangs, in prison, through youth authority and even probation. You know, you have a structure of leaders. But God says those that lead thee cause you to err, cause you to be destroyed. Those leaders that we have in the neighborhoods, they continue that destruction that our people are in, whether it be in drugs, whether it be killing each other, whether it's prostituting our own sisters. We need real leaders that are going to bring us back to our understanding of who we are.
Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel.
See, the Bible says that we are the Israelites. That's what we have to understand. We're not Hispanics, okay? Hispanic means property of Spain. We're not Latinos, okay? We are none of that. All of us, just like our so-called black brothers, African Americans, they have last names that belong to the white men. Why? Because they were enslaved by the Caucasian race. The so-called Hispanic, they have names of Spaniards. Why? Because we was conquered by the Spaniards. But God calls us Israel. That's who we really are. My initial change started about 3 years ago, okay? Before that, I was doing drugs. I was I was doing meth, okay? I was doing meth for about over 10 years, okay? So I went through a lot of stuff with my wife, with my children. I wasn't a father, I wasn't a husband. And through all that, I went through so much affliction. I wanted to change, just like this brother that I spoke to. He said he was tired of it. I was tired of it. But guess what? I saw a brother that came to me and he showed me what God was saying. He actually read to me the Bible and showed me my identity. So I was tired of that, and then I saw a resolution in the Bible. I saw the solution that I needed for my life and my wife, because the Bible gives us everything that we need to be able to be fathers and husbands, how to be men, how to be real men, and how to be a brother. We don't know how to be brothers. We call ourselves homies. We say, that's my little homie, or I'm your big homie, but we're doing the same thing to continue to destroy this young brother's life.
This is the book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah.
The children of Judah is the so-called black man, brother. The real Jew is a short term for Judah. The Bible says that the children of Judah, which is the so-called African American man, and then the Israel, which is the Hispanic man, they are what?
We're oppressed together.
You see that? The Bible says that the so-called black man and the Hispanic man, we are oppressed together. But you see this, brother? We don't even know what oppression is. We think that having money, selling drugs to our brothers and sisters while they're all drugged the hell out, and having money in our pockets, having a car, having a fly house, we think that's freedom. That is not freedom. That is oppression. That is oppression, because what? We don't know that we were supposed to rule this planet. So when we have those small things, amenities, we think we're something when we're really nothing, brother. But the Bible says we will be oppressed together. We see who's in the neighborhood, who's in South Central. Is the Chinese man in South Central? The only time you see the Chinese man is when he has that Chinese store, the Chinese restaurant, the Chinese the salon, the beauty salon. Why ain't our black sisters owning those beauty salons? Why ain't our sisters owning those nail shops? Why? Why is the Arab owning all the gas stations, all the liquor stores in South Central?
That's right.
Yet the black man is in that neighborhood, being drugged out, buying out of those stores. The Hispanic man is in South Central, buying in that store, buying that liquor. That continues that oppression. Go ahead, read that.
The book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down in the valley of Jehoshaphat.
So now this is the prophecy that God is saying that's going to happen in the end against the people that have enslaved his people, the Israelites, the black and Hispanic man. Read.
And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel.
God's heritage is Israel. We are his heritage. We are his chosen. We are his special children. Read on.
Whom they have scattered among the nations.
So now it's going to explain who has scattered. We were scattered through what? Transatlantic slave trade. We were scattered through the Assyrian slave trade, through the Arab slave trade. We were scattered to be slaves on all corners of this earth. Read on.
And parted my land.
They parted God's land. You see, when the Spanish came to South and North America, they parted that land. Even today, guess what? You have that crisis going on in Venezuela. The U.S. is trying to get in there and take over that country, trying to put their own president. Even though the Hispanic man got a land there, guess what? We still don't own it. We don't have no power over that. But they've parted Jerusalem. Who's in Jerusalem now? Not the black man, not the Hispanic man. That land was ours.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
O Tyre and Sidon, which is the so-called Egyptians, the so-called Hamites. Read on, the real African. Because there is a difference between the African, the real Hamites that are in Africa right now, and the black man. These are two separate sets of black people. Read on.
And all the coast of Palestine?
The Palestinians. Who are the Palestinians? Who's in Palestine? The Arabs, Middle East. Read on.
Will ye render me a recompense?
So,
and if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head.
You see that? That is the destruction that's going to happen to them. For that, the Bible just described who had his children in slavery. The Palestinians or the Arabs or the Middle Eastern. Okay, the so-called African man. Read on.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians.
You see that? They sold us to who? The Greeks, the white man. The Roman is the white man. America is a descendant of the Greeks and the Romans. The Bible says that the Arabs sold us to the Greeks. And we see this right here, brother. And we still have that going on today. It's little known. But if you research, if you really do your diligent research, you're going to find videos of these Arabs mistreating our sisters. Okay? This is just depictions that we have over the Arab slave trade. Okay? And all this was prophesied in Deuteronomy 28. When crack hit the South Central, when crack hit LA, guess what they did? This is what we have to understand. We have to expand our mind. Because we fight, for example, you got 18 and MS fighting. You got PlayBoys MS fighting. You got Florence MS fighting. Okay, in the 80s, in the 70s, Salvador, they had a civil war. They had a civil war. And in that civil war, guess what? America had an influction of what? People coming over because of that war. They was fleeing it, right? Through that war, as those Salvadorians came, they had to gather themselves together. Why? Because the other neighborhoods was going against them. So they created the MS gangs, right? But guess who created that? Guess who created that distress in that country?
United States.
The United States. Through what? The cracks. What did they do? They was trying, just like they're doing in Venezuela, trying to take over that country, trying to take down Maduro. Okay, like they took out Chavez. Guess what? They did that in El Salvador, and there was giving money to the opposing people of that president at that time, through the cracks that was giving them money, that was feeding them money and arms through the crack that was being sold in South Central LA. This is a system that we don't understand. It all revolves back to us killing each other in the neighborhood. You selling the same drug to that same brother that ended up having to leave his country, came here, he created a neighborhood, now he's your enemy. He's your enemy because you sold the same drugs that killed, that used that money to sell drugs, to sell arms to them. We don't see that revolving door. Originally, I grew up in Fedora. So when I moved here, I actually lived on Dewey and Pico. But I moved around a whole lot. I've lived in South Central, I lived in Watts, I lived in Compton, I lived on the west side. I've moved all over the place. So right now we're gonna go hit Pico and Fedora. That's where I hung out with a lot of my friends that I had right there, a lot of the homies, people I met. So we're here on Pico and Fedora. This is the neighborhood out here, West Side PlayBoys. This is where I used to run around, you know, one of the parts of the city where I used to run around with some old homies, old friends, old acquaintances. You know, as a matter of fact, this store right here, this liquor store, I remember one time I was coming out of a store that we had over there in that corner. I was coming out, some dudes were doing a beer run. I don't remember where they was from, but they was doing a beer run. They came by, they drove by, we banged on each other, pulled out a strap, they chased me down the street. I run into a couple of the stores over there, came out through the alley, came back around. They were still driving around, they saw me, had to keep running. A lot of stuff happened here, you know. A lot of the brothers, I know stories like from the 80s, the older homies. You know, I'm a youngster, but those older homies like back in the 80s, I know they used to hang out in these buildings up here. They used to have rifles up here. I mean, during that time, gangbanging was no joke. You know, towards the late 90s, 2000, and now everything has kind of dwindled down. The cops has really taken over, you know, through the gang injunction and then having a police station right up here, right up the street. You know, they've really taken more control over the gangs and what they do. And then the drugs, just completely, you know, been taking over the brothers.
So what neighborhoods did you used to clash with when you was a youngster around here?
So PlayBoys, we have drifters down here towards the east, on the other side of Vermont. Okay, you got Mid-City, that's over here towards the west, right on the other side. You got Emeses on the other side of Olympic. Okay, those are the closest neighborhoods around us. Then you got 18 over here on Hoover. You know, those were the neighborhoods closest to us. Okay, those were the main hoods we was dealing with right here. Berrendo was the street that a lot of our homies went to. Okay, they used to go there. All those neighborhoods used to show up at that same school. It's a middle school, so they used to go at it there a lot.
Now, do you ever miss some of the guys that you grew up with around here since you've been active with the Hebrew Israelites? You ever think about some of your old friends and miss any of them?
Give me Titus 3:3 right quick. Miss, I must say, as far as what we went through and that connection that we had in the past, I really don't miss that at all. I don't miss it at all. I wish I could run into these brothers a little bit more and deal with them with the scriptures, the way I was dealt with the scriptures and how it helped me change. But let's read it right quick.
It's the book of Titus, chapter 3 and verse 3.
Uh-huh.
For we ourselves also were sometimes foolish,
Yep.
disobedient, deceived, serving diverse lusts and pleasures, living in malice and envy.
So, because at one time, that's what I was doing with these brothers. That's what we was all doing. You know, living in malice, living in envy, hating each other. The hatred was so strong that guess what? We was killing each other. These young sisters out here, we was hoeing them out, sleeping with these sisters. You know, I know sisters that guess what? We put them on, well, brothers got, you know, they got put on drugs to where they lose their mind. You see? I was in that. I know brothers are still stuck in that lifestyle. So now that I'm able to look back, I see that. No, I don't miss it. I don't miss that connection that I had with them. None at all. Read it, finish it.
Hateful and hating one another.
There's a lot of memories right here. And it's things that we don't dwell on. I can't dwell on those type of things because what strengthened me is the future that I see now for my people and what we now must be doing. This community has been a prison for us. Okay, we've been in prison through the mind. The Bible says that when you destroy the mind, guess what? You destroy the people.
Thanks for watching StreetTV.net. If you're not subscribed, please hit that button below and click the bell to receive alerts and notifications. Feel free to comment below so you can give us your feedback, and be sure to watch the 2 related episodes to the right. If you want to support this platform or follow us on social media, visit the links in the description, and thanks for watching StreetTV.net.